Hey guys, so I'm going to show you how to set up a conversion ad. I know you probably have learned already how to set up an engagement ad, but I'm going to show you exactly how I run my ads. I like to run conversion ads because I find that I get a lot more comments that way, and I find that with an engagement ad, I get a lot of likes. So I will share my screen and show exactly what I do. So I've done this for many people, and we all get very good results running our ads this way. So it's definitely worth checking out and setting up your ads this way as well. So first things first, you hit create in your ads manager. And then we're gonna go to conversion. So right here, we click conversion. Scroll down, you can name it. I'll just call it Nicole Conversions. You wanna name it what your ad is named so that you can keep track and it's organized. Then we click next. Then we're gonna name our ad set. So if you're testing a few different ad sets, then you're definitely gonna wanna label what you're testing. So like, I'll do like USA. So US, age range, whatever my age range is, you can put in there. Usually I'll do like 24 to 35 years old or something like that. Oops. 35 years old, and then like what you're targeting. So you can put whatever your targets are. So say it's my nursing ad, I would target nursing or nurse, whatever. Not that important, but just so that you can keep track of it. So then we're gonna come down here and we're going to choose our pixel. So I do initiate checkout or purchase. This is lit up green. So that is the one that I'm currently using. So I'll do initiate checkout. If it's not lit up green yet and you've never run an ad, that's okay. Just choose initiate checkout or purchase. So then I don't do anything with dynamic creative. I don't do anything with offer. Then I come down here and I pick my audience, location. I like to target the United States, but you can pick a location. You can target Canada, the United States, Australia, whatever you really want to do, but I like to just target the United States. I have targeted Australia and I have targeted Canada. I just find that my ad runs best in the States. So United States, I just target it as a whole. I don't get too specific on area. Then you're gonna pick your age range. So give it like, you know, within what your age range is, the people that you actually want to target. So like that are going to relate to you the most. So if you're older and your ad is about, you know, something to do with events going on in later life, then you're probably going to want to open up that age range to a bit later. But if you want to target younger people, then you want to obviously go lower. So I don't like to have a huge gap. So maybe like 10 years. Some people even do less than that. Some people do more. Like you could even go like 24 to 39. It just totally depends. I always just target women, but of course that's a preference. You know, you can target both. It doesn't really matter. But for me, I find I get the best response with just women. Then English all. And so what you want to keep an eye on while you're doing all of this is this little area right here. So where it says potential reach, right now we're at 37 million people, and we are going to lower that amount as we start to add our interest. So we want to unclick this area that says expand your detailed targeting to reach more people. And we put in our interest. So you can do this a number of ways, but what we really want to aim for is we want to make sure that our potential reach is at least over 3 million to 10 million. So we want it between 3 and 10 million. I like to try and get it as close to 10 million as possible. So you can either put all of your interests, you can either do like say, I'm just trying to think of some examples. So like you could do like nursing and then go to suggestions. So we're already at 8.4 million people. So you could try running an ad like that if you really wanted to. I know people that do it this way and it's worked fine. So this is one way to do it. Just keep an eye on your potential reach. Another thing that you'll want to do is maybe I'll do that after. So this is one way you can do it, and then you can move on and you can go to, I guess, yeah, edit placements. You don't want to click automatic placements. We're going to unclick Instagram. We're going to unclick Messenger, and I just run to Facebook. If your ad is under a minute long, or it is not too long, like the writing isn't too long, then you can run it to Instagram as well. Some people like to test Instagram by itself and Facebook by itself. So that means you would run one ad just to Facebook, and then you would come in, do the exact same thing, and then you would just do it to Instagram as well. And then that way you can test it so you know which one's working better. But I just run it to Facebook, and then I only put it in the feeds. So I unclick all of these. So the Facebook news feed and stories. I unclick InStream, I unclick search, and I unclick messages. It's not clicked. In article, I get rid of all of this. So basically, I just have it running to feeds and stories. You can test these as well, but this is just exactly how I do mine. So we're still at 6.9 million people, which is really good. Then we come down. So optimize for conversions. We come down to our ad budget. So I only run my ad at $6 a day. I teach everyone to just test at $5 a day. I have a lot of people who have had really good luck with their ads, and they've had great ads running just from $5 a day. So you can test with that. Some people like to go like a couple cents up, so you're not competing with everyone else doing that. So like you could go for $5.09. I run mine, I think it's $6. It just depends. Like sometimes I'll just throw in a different number when I'm testing, and if that one runs the best, then I'll run it. And testing just means that you're running like a couple different ad sets all at the same time to see which one performs better over a few days. So if you're only going to run one ad, you can run it exactly like this. So put in your daily budget. I don't do a start and end date. I let it run continuously. My conversion window, I keep it like that, 7-day click, 1-day view, charge on impression. So that looks really good. So the other variation that I do here is I do something different in this interest area. So if you're not reaching 6 to 9 million people, or 6.9 million people, or up to 10 million people, then you can play around with your interests. So I'm going to do something totally different. And if you are stacking your interests, this is the way that I like to do it. So I start by doing things that I want my audience to be interacting with. So entrepreneurship. I like to do something like business oriented. Like you want somebody that is interested in, being an entrepreneur, online marketing, something like that. So I use the top column for that. So entrepreneurship, sales. You can click suggestions and it'll give you other things like self-employment, business. So you can do something like that. I put 3 in here, and then I would go narrow audience. Then this is where I would put what my ad is actually targeting. So I have a nursing ad, if you have a construction ad, if you have, any other sort of ads, like if it's to do with like, I have people who have ads for like not going to college, or, different professions that they're in. So if you want to target something specific, I put it in the center area. So then I would do nursing here. And then I would maybe do like certified nurse assistant, or I'll just click the suggestions. So Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and then registered nurse. So the reason I'm doing 3 in all of these is because what's happening is I'm narrowing the audience every time I click narrow further. So it's only going to put my ad in front of people who like one, or who follow, or who are connected with one of these things, and then one of in the next row that I create. So you're creating a more narrowed and niche audience, and so you have to put more stuff in here in order to get your potential reach up. So then down here, I would do things that are that I want them to be interested in as well, like sort of like hobbies or kind of different attributes. So I like to put personal development down here. So I would go personal development, and then I would do suggestions, and I would find different ones. So the ones that I'm choosing are really, really, really broad. It's better to probably narrow down, because the more broad it is, the more you're competing with other people. But with that being said, like, I have run very successful ads targeting really, really broad things. Like, I've literally had a great ad from using these top targets, very similar middle targets, and then doing like Tony Robbins and Gary Vaynerchuk and personal development. So like, those are very, very common things that people are probably going to target. So you're competing with more people, but I've had success with it, but I would play around with it. So the reason that you would do an ad this way is because what I'm saying to Facebook is I want to target people who are nurses that are interested in sales, business, or entrepreneurship, and they also like motivation, personal development, and say yoga or whatever, things that are going to make me related to my audience. So see, I'm at 4.5 million people. So I added a bunch of things in here, but my potential reach has gone down. So I like to try and be around like 8 million, but you can try it at this too. So if you want this potential reach to go up, then you just have to play around with these different interests that you have. Like, when I get rid of sales, it goes down a little bit. And if I add marketing, oh, it stays the same. So it's probably not a huge difference what's in there. So that's just an idea of how you want to do it, but try stacking. And if you're not getting good numbers like that, then you can just try doing 3 interests without stacking, like I showed you the very first time. So you could just do something like this instead. See, and then that gives me 7 million people that I can potentially reach. You would want to put these ones up here in the first line though. But yeah, so then what you can do after that is, I'll just put that back in there. Sorry. Okay, so it's only giving me 1.6 million people now, which isn't great, but you can still run it to that, honestly, as long as it's around like 2 to 10 million. So then after we have that, we hit continue. And then we're going to name it again. I would name it exactly what you named the last one. So whatever age range, so USA 24 to 35 nurse. Then you are going to make sure that it is linked to your Facebook page, and then I'm going to use an existing post. So we're going to select a post. Oops. We'll hit select post. And then we're going to pick wherever our post is that we want to run. So it should show up here. You'll click it. I don't want to run this, but say this was my nursing ad. You would do that. You would click it. Make sure that it shows up there. And then you come down here. I don't do, let me just click it and make sure that it runs. So make sure it's on your pixel right here. I don't do like a call to action button. I don't prefer to do that. You definitely can. Okay, so it ran totally fine. So I'm actually going to shut that off and delete it. So that's how you do it. That's how you do a conversion ad. So good luck with that. And I would love to hear from you guys how your ads run. So when you test your ads, I wouldn't do it for more than like let it run for 24 hours, see how it goes. But if you're not getting a lot of activity within the first 2 days at $5, then I would shut it off and retry again. Often what I like to do is I like to run 3 at once that are slightly different. And then that way within a day or so, I turn off the ones that aren't running good and I keep the one on that is running well. And how do you know if an ad is running well? I like to get at least one comment in my $5 ad spend. So if you don't get any comments within 1 or 2 days, then shut it off and then try again. And you can, the different things that you'll be trying are playing around with those interests and trying to, keep that potential reach within the 2 to 10 million range. But kind of like the sweet spot, I would say, is between like 7 and 8 million is what I like to look for. So good luck with that. Let me know if you have any questions, and please put all of your questions inside of the Live Your Purpose group. That way, if anybody else is struggling with it, then they will be able to see these questions and I can answer them in there. So you can comment your questions underneath this video and then I can definitely respond to that. Otherwise, you can reach out to me personally as well.